Call now. The number is 896-1980. AM980 The Eagle.
Tennessee, they like the smoky sauce. But over there in old Memphis, a dry rub ribs boss.
The folks down in Georgia, they can't make up their mind. You can give it to them sweet or spicy, and they'll say that tastes alright.
And you might think the South Carolinians are just a little bit off. Would you believe their barbecue's yellow with a mustard sauce?
I would.
Pork shoulder is the cut of choice in Mississippi, and they pride themselves on barbecue that's totally vinegary.
In Louisiana, them Cajuns, they like to spice it up.
Did you even know there was a song about barbecue?
This is our review.
I mean, it brings out the best and the worst, I suspect. And to help us talk a little bit this morning, Scott Bjork. Did I say that right? Hey, Scott, good morning. How's everything going this morning?
It's going great.
Well, you were kind enough to come in the studio here, and I know Smith Patterson went to town and went back to town and went back yet again. He said one of the best barbecue sauces he's had. And you brought in some ribs this morning, and ultimately it's Scooter B's sauce that you're in charge of. This is, what, just a family thing? What is this?
It's just a family thing. It's something I've been playing with for a long time. And what actually took it to another level is my parents had a hard time adjusting to retirement. And my wife told me that I better come up with a plan because she wasn't going to tolerate me sitting around the house. So I decided cooking's my passion, and I better do something with it. And so this is what I do.
How great that is. And it's a delicious treat you brought in this morning. Thank you for doing that. Alex is over there. He would be on the show with us right now, but he's right now chewing on and enjoying one of the proceeds here of your visit. Talk to me a little bit about how you got focused on food. Since you were a kid kind of thing, or how did this start?
Really from a teenager. Once I moved out, I had to learn how to cook, and my mom taught me the basics, and then I just started experimenting, and
so in college,
threw out a few meals. And
in college days, were you the guy they said, we got to have you over? We're having a party, and then you thought, hey, I'm the guy. Yeah. And they say, would you make this? Is that how it went?
Yeah, I was the guy.
Well, apparently it's paid off for you. Now, tell me about Scooter B's sauce. Now, this morning I had the Texas
correct
style, which has got a nice, rich tomatoey with a kick to it kind of sauce. Yeah. So tell me about that.
Well, kind of my trademark is all my seasonings and sauces have a little kick to them, some bigger kick than others. My original has the least amount of kick, but it just keeps going up from there.
And when you say kick, talk to me a little bit about what you're looking for and how you get there and how you know you've hit the note that you're looking for.
Well, I don't want it to be painful. I want it to be flavorful, but something that you'll remember when you bite into it.
And even after you bite into it.
And after you bite into it.
Because I'm still getting a nice little glow having eaten the rib right before we came on the segment here. So.
Right. I just don't want it too painful for people. But I think food should talk to you.
So without revealing too many secrets, I mean, how do you do that? What are you using, or some of the techniques, or what can you tell us?
I mix different kinds of, the red peppers, the chipotles, the Tabascos, but you have to be careful on how much of each. And so I also used 80 employees over 2 years experimenting with different seasonings and sauces. So they were my test group over at Northfield. And so they assisted in me tweaking my recipes to get that perfect pitch.
So let's say you got 80 people, and for it to hit the mark of you to say, this is about where it needs to be, do you need to hear from 35 or 50, or how many have to
I
hit?
try to hit about 65 to 70, because some it's going to be too spicy, and some it's still not going to be spicy enough.
Right. So but you just take out those two extremes.
Correct. And then I try to hit that sweet spot in the middle.
If you're just left to your own devices, are you going to hit are you going to knock the bell?
No, okay. I'm not a knock the bell, but actually I have to be in the mood for my own Chipotle, because sometimes I'm just not in the mood for.
Well, I think food is mood, isn't it? And if
Yes.
you can love something, but just not right now. And I think understanding that is one of the great things of anybody who's focused on good cuisine or condiments or what have you.
Right.
That doesn't mean we don't love you, or it just means not right now.
Not right now.
So, how are things going with Scooter Bees? Where are you, and where can we find the products?
Deli on Main is where my products are, plus scooter-b.com.
Mm-hmm.
People can go there to purchase and also to get recipe ideas. I put all my recipes out there because my goal is to help people cook, not to, I'm not running a restaurant. I want them to enjoy food.
What are some of for those of us that maybe don't cook as routinely, but when we do, we want it to be really good. What are some of the foibles or the missteps that we who don't regularly cook often make? Do we tend to make things too complicated? Is that part of it?
That's part of it. I try to keep my meal, other than the ribs. The ribs take 3 to 4 hours, but I try to keep my meals within an hour from prep time to dinner table, because if you take too long, people are going to be bored. They don't have the time to cook. If you cook too short, it's just not going to be flavorful. So I try to keep my recipes within that 30 to 60 minutes.
And what about when you add the seasoning? Is that a critical point? Do you necessarily roll them in the seasoning before you start, or do you add it at midway or right before you serve?
Either before or at the either before in the prep or at the beginning, because you want your seasonings to have time to get into the food.
Are some seasonings more designed to do that than others, that really permeate the food really well?
I've tried to keep all of mine consistent, so they're all designed to put in the beginning and the middle.
Okay, so you've mentioned the Chipotle, and describe that a little bit. What's going on with the Chipotle that people are talking about?
I just really like the flavor.
What makes Chipotle?
The Chipotle.
That's the whole thing. That does help.
That does help.
But is there any other tweaking you do on either side of that? Is it secret kinds of things?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's probably 18 things that go into the Chipotle sauce.
Wow. See, now that's what I'm wanting to know about. Okay, I tell you, we're going to take a 2-minute break and come back and talk more about Scooter Bees sauce. And Scott Bjork is with us this morning, the owner and founder, and we'll be back in just a bit.
Call now. The number is 896-1980. AM980 The Eagle.
Good morning. Bill Flynn this morning, and we continue our conversation about all things delectable in a way, with at least sauces, with Scott Bjork, owner of Scooter Bees Sauce. You brought with you your personal photographer and son, I see, this morning, too, who's taking some shots along the way. And I can tell this is a labor of love for you, at least certainly at this point. This is how long? When did you start doing this? When did you start offering Scooter Bees?
Officially 1 year ago, but through family and friends, obviously, for the past 5 to 8 years.
Very good. So going as a commercial product versus just out of the kitchen, making enough for you and maybe a family gathering or whatever. Right. Talk about that transition that you have to make in order to have a commercially viable product.
Well, it was a big learning experience for us. Is to take it from your kitchen, you have to first of all get FDA certified, and we went through the NC State program to be FDA certified.
How long a procedure is that?
It took about a year from the process of getting the products tested, being certified, and then once you're certified, then the professor at NC State gives you basically your plan, because you have to make it the same way every time and take many measurements.
Okay, so by the time you're getting there, you've got to have these perfectly distilled, and you know exactly.
Exactly.
And you can't vary from
vary, and your measurements cannot vary more than 1 or 2 points, or else you have to contact NC State and go through the whole FDA notification.
So you don't want those gray hairs.
No.
If you can avoid them.
No,
right?
no.
So, but when you're making something at a larger scale, though, there's a whole nother calculation, isn't it?
Yes, and it's not a 1-to-1.
So if you're making 5 gallons versus 1 gallon, it's not 5 times everything. And how do you know where that line is so you're ready for it?
There's different formulas for the different spices. The hotter spices, there's a formula that the larger the size, the less you use, because otherwise it goes exponential in your heat. Some of these spices are 1-to-1. So you have to practice ramping up. And right now I'm only at the 5 to 8 gallon range to go from 8 to 150. I'm not quite sure how to do that yet.
Well, there would be calculations somewhere, and then you do it, and you still have to do a taste test on it, right?
Correct.
Even if you do the calculations, because otherwise you're flying blind.
Exactly. It's not only taste, but it's also your FDA measurements. Those also have to stay in line.
Tell me, we mentioned the Texas sauce and the Chipotle. What else is in the lineup? Because when I saw the array of offerings, I mean, there's a bunch of bottles in kind of a half arc for them at the deli on Main. And by the way, hi to Joe, who runs the place, and is just a terrific person. I love to do business with them, and I'm there about once a week anyway. And,
we're there every Thursday with our group as
great.
well.
Okay. So I may see you there.
Yes,
if
they
I
make,
had a Thursday.
they make great food there.
Are you there at lunchtime?
Lunchtime.
Okay. I'll look for you. But not this Thursday.
No,
You
not
probably
this
got-
Thursday.
probably
They're a
got-
little busy.
Got some other plans. But what else is in the Scooter Breeze lineup?
Well, I have the original, which is my least hot and most versatile sauce.
Is this with pork, chicken, beef?
Pork,
What do
chicken.
you recommend?
Anything. My original actually makes fantastic sloppy joes. There's a sloppy joe recipe on my website.
Oh.
So it's not just barbecue. You can make,
So is this because I love a great sloppy Joe, and I haven't had one in years.
go to my website.
Okay. I'm
and,
going to hold you to this.
Oh, you will
Okay.
not be disappointed.
Okay. And what is the website again, if you would?
Scooter-b.com.
Scooter-b, as in boy,
Boy.
.com. Scooter-b.com. All right. Okay, so you got the...
I have the original, the Texas, mesquite honey for those that like a little sweeter. I have a Carolina sauce, a mustard-based, and I also have the Chipotle and then a Jamaican. And the
Jamaican, I've heard of Jamaican, they jerk sauce and that kind of thing. Is it in that direction?
It's in that direction.
Ooh.
And that's a little warm.
Do you have any secrets for somebody who really, we talked earlier about, you don't want to hit the people that don't want any spice at all, those, you at that end of the scale. And then the other people that, love, if they're not coming away choking and sweating, they're not happy. But is there a way to boost the heat content in the recipes that they can do at home? Is there anything you would say?
Yes, you can add more. I also have seasonings, so you could add at the end of your cooking process, you can add more Jamaican spice, or you can add more barbecue rub. Or
see, I love that.
At the end of it, because then it doesn't have, when you cook it, the heat tends to cook out. But when you put it at the end, it'll stay in if you want it really cranked up.
So that's the ability then to customize for that. I like it a little bit hotter man or woman. I think that's a great thing.
Yeah.
So of the ones that you mentioned, I mean, is there one that's, if you're going to try one of the Scooter Bees varieties, which one would be the starter kit?
I like the original, the Texas, and the Chipotle myself. That gives me my low, medium, and high. I don't care for the sweeter sauce myself. It's not my most favorite. Obviously, I like it, but but those three would be the starter kit.
You see, it strikes me, and by the I want to reiterate, you guys are a local company and really just kind of out of your home, kind of.
Well, I have to cook it in a commercial
Oh,
kitchen.
you do? Okay,
Oh,
I didn't
yes.
realize. So you got to have the commercial side of things to keep the state happy and all of that, and meet those demands. But I was going to mention that these are great stocking stuffers.
Oh, yeah.
A really fine bottle of Scooter Bees would be an option for that person that loves to cook on the grill. Maybe put out a really fine chicken or what about hamburger in some of these?
I have a steak and burger seasoning for hamburgers and steaks, and so I think I have it pretty much covered.
This is exciting times. So if folks would like to know more, and you also have a charity that you're particularly proud of, I'd like to talk about that too.
Victory Junction. My youngest son was been able to participate in it, and it's an organization that we've contributed to for the past 8 years.
Now that's the Kyle Petty family.
The Kyle Petty family
that is in charge of that. And Victory Junction is all about giving kids an opportunity to really be kids.
To be kids.
In spite of medical issues that may be going on.
Right, and it's in a safe environment. Doctors, nurses donate their time. They're there generally at a week at a time. They donate their services. So no matter how difficult a situation is, they tailor each week to, it could be burn victim week, it could be respiratory week. So they really tailored the doctors and the nurses needed on site, all free of charge to the kids. It's fantastic.
And what a great legacy, living legacy for the Kyle Petty family to have that offered to so many people, and then not just from right around this area, though certainly our Brenner Children's Hospital, for example, would be one conduit to there, but literally kids come from quite the distance to go there, don't they?
Right, and they're getting the one in Kansas City up and running so that it tries to shorten some of the commute. We're lucky it's in our own backyard.
Truly are, yes.
People from California all over are coming to Carolina here to get 1 week of fun out of their life.
That's a beautiful thing. Do I get a thumbs up for Victory Junction? Yes. Your young son is with us right now, and has obviously enjoyed that relationship with Victory Junction. And I think it's great that you're giving back.
You always have to give back. That's just life.
So where do Scooter Bees go from here? I mean, you're going to be. I mean, these some of the biggest food companies in the world make sauces that are right next to you. So.
Yes, and I won't quit my day job, but I do enjoy doing it. And if it grows, great. I still enjoy doing it. I'll just try and keep doing demos and getting the word out, and it's just a labor of love for me.
And on your website, you mentioned the Sloppy Joe recipe. What are some other recipes on there that are simple and really good, especially if you got extended family coming in town, staying after Thanksgiving? So
I have great deviled eggs if you want to do those for Thanksgiving. They have a little twist to them.
I like this.
It's not a deviled egg you would normally make, but they are delicious.
I have no doubt. The look on your face tells me how good they are. All right, tell me the website one more time.
Scooter-B.com.
All right. Thank you so much, Scott Bjork. We appreciate you, and good luck with Scooter Bees sauce. I can tell you firsthand it's delicious, and I'll encourage you to visit the website. Happy Thanksgiving.